No sound.
Everything was running so smooth.
There we go. I can hear you
You
now.
can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
In the background, everything was running so smooth, which was great because I got sidetracked with the dinner dishes. And we're like, everybody's mic was working. Everybody was here on time. It was like probably the first time in 6 months that that's happened. And
Agreed. And then we couldn't hear you.
then we start the show and it's just,
going.
nope, not there.
It's amazing.
But
podcast number 30.
Podcast 30. That's wild.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I still don't know how we'll ever catch up with the men, but yeah, looking forward to this show that you've put together.
Yeah. So we've kind of been in a little bit of, it's like a weird time of year because it's like a lull in the season, but at the same time, it's wildly busy and there's things happening all over the country. But at home, like here in Edmonton, it hasn't really been like too busy right now because we're waiting for Open Provincials to happen for Alberta. Tournament Masters is next weekend or this weekend coming up. So like we've kind of been in a little bit of a lull, but there's been lots of things happening. So
yeah, I think lots to celebrate, and like we probably could have added even way more content because so much has actually happened. So
100%. But we decided to kind of just take a little bit of a snippet of like the 3 major national events for the adults and pull in some people who have qualified already for Masters. So we have some teaching and some Tournament Masters players who are going to be playing at Nationals this year. We've got some IP national qualifiers who are going to be at Nationals in Saskatchewan in a little bit here. And then we also pulled in, we have a few more players who've qualified for the Open. So lots of just little qualifyings that are happening throughout the country. And as we continue to go, we'll be able to highlight more people. But it's nice to be able to get kind of a jump start on some of those people who have already qualified.
Yeah, and a few fresh faces, right? So that's always really interesting to have someone new on the podcast and just understand like what's important for them, how excited they are about like their next journey and or event. So yeah, looking forward to connecting.
Yeah, so we can start by bringing in some players who are going to be playing in the Masters Nationals coming up. So we will bring them in here. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Not too shabby.
I'm going to throw up names up here since there's so many of us, and that way it just gives people an opportunity to know who we have here. But maybe we can just take a second for you to kind of introduce yourself, a little bit about what you've qualified for, maybe out of what province, and we can start with that. Brandy, do you want to start first?
Sure. So I've qualified for Teaching Masters Nationals. Yeah, so very excited. It's my first Nationals. I've been bowling for eons, so I can't remember a day that I haven't bowled. So yeah, super pumped about taking my bowling a little bit more seriously and making a national team, and also super pumped that I pulled it out in the end. So a little scary going into day 2, and I pulled it out and super pumped about it.
Amazing. Coralie?
I qualified out of Saskatchewan. I finished first overall for on the ladies team. Josie beat me out for singles, but we had a fun laugh about that later on as I made her worry just a little bit on the last day. But
amazing. Krista?
I qualified out of Saskatchewan as well. I followed up right behind Coralie, so I will be bowling on the ladies team as well for tournament division.
Amazing. And both of you have been at Masters Nationals before, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
This is actually my 4th national that I've bowled in.
This is my 4th as well.
Amazing. And Shailene?
I qualified for Teaching Ladies. I bowl out of Calgary, Alberta. Sorry, a little nervous.
That's okay.
So,
is this your first Nationals or have you been to other Nationals?
This is my second
Nationals. Amazing. Brandy, before we get kind of into the questions about all of everything else, I just happened to see, and I just wanted to bring it up really quick before coming on podcast, that you made a status on Facebook where you were talking about how like this year has been all coming up bowling.
Yeah. yeah, I decided at the beginning of the year that I was going to take it a little bit more seriously. Like I said earlier, I've been bowling my entire life and I've never really like stepped into that role. I've been on a ladies open team for Central. And that year I tried harder, but I didn't give it the work that I've been giving it this year. So definitely been bowling all the things. So I've bowled all the Bowl Alberta qualifying out of my house. I've made the doubles and I made the IP team out of my house. And then we didn't do so great in IP, but that's beside the point. Bowled a few like fun things and have done really well. So Holly conned me into doing teaching masters in October. So we missed the first tournament, and then I was like, why not? Like, let's give it a shot. And then yeah, it kind of just took off from there. So like I said, been taking it a little bit more seriously and excited about where it's going to take me. So I did not qualify for the Open, and yeah, I had a really bad weekend and it just didn't go well. So
Brandy, you talked about like pulling it out at the end. And so like when you talk about, you know, your commitment to the game this year, and then talk to us a little bit about you pulling it out at the end, and what did that look like for you? And do you think that the practice or the commitment to the game certainly paid off for you when you got towards the end of trying to qualify?
yeah, definitely the commitment to the game. I also work at the bowling alley or at bowling center in Olds. So I work there full time. And so bowling is a huge part of me and my family's life. And then, yeah, the commitment to the sport, definitely. I've been bowling a little bit more than normal. So, but I've been really working on my head game, especially since the Open qualifying. But yeah, that definitely got to me on Sunday. Saturday night when we were finished, I was sitting in 15th. And I was like, oh goodness, like Holly's going to murder me if I don't make another team with her. So shit. Sorry, we're the S-bomb, but yeah. So I was like, she's got to go to Open without me. And if she has to go to Masters Nationals without me, then I'm in big trouble. So I was like, Kate, there's that. And then there's the bowling. So let's just get in the mind game and then let's throw some balls. So if I didn't hit the middle, I was just like, Kate, let's pick up the garbage. And if I hit the middle, I was like, great, this is fantastic. So it was definitely a head game the second day for me for sure. My first two games, I was below average, and my first game on Sunday, I actually moved up a place with a negative. So that made me happy. I was like, yay, this is good. And then my third game, I just got on the horse and just didn't want to get off. So
I love that. We often talk, I mean, I don't know how much you tune into the podcast, but we often talk about that ending part to try and make a team is one of the toughest things that you can ever do. Like it is not easy to be mentally ready and then let yourself be able to do that. For on the opposite side, then to be able to kind of celebrate your accomplishment it's not an easy thing to do. So congratulations. Thank
you. Yeah, it was definitely a heavy head game. And I was like, I do not want to feel the same way I felt after qualifying for the Open. So pull up your socks, buddy. Let's go. Put them on, pull them up.
It's a good motivator.
Yeah, I love that.
How was Masters qualifying in Saskatchewan for you guys, Coralie and Krista?
I want to say our first weekend we had back in November, you could definitely see what looked like two different houses that we bowled out of when we actually bowled out of the same house, just different ends. So you could see it in the standings. It was definitely an interesting weekend. And then I think we kind of relaxed a little bit on our second weekend here in March, and we just went out and through and said, just keep doing what we're doing and we'll be able to stay in a place that'll put us on a team.
Yeah, I agree. My first day this past weekend, I didn't have an attitude, but I was I wasn't really in a competitor mode. Competitor mode, because Corey was like, oh, it's okay, Krista, you'll bring it back. And I just looked at her, I said, thanks for like trying to keep me pumped up. I said, but like, I shouldn't be here. I said, I'm just here bowling. So Sunday was kind of the same thing, had to bring that back. But yeah, it's fun. It's always fun competing for Masters. So
Well, the two of you obviously have been part of the game for a really long time, throw really, really great balls. A little bit of a nice little advantage that you've played a couple of years, together. But like Krista, I want to talk about a little bit about like that mentality about where you just kind of feeling like you're throwing in the motions, like, because I've seen the passion from you. So I want to talk about this a little bit. I've definitely seen the passion. So what do you think it was for you where you're just feeling a little lackluster or maybe a little unmotivated, or what was it for you? I mean, you definitely made the team, which is amazing, but like the goal of this podcast is to always talk about how do we get you, ready for the next thing.
Well, for me, a lot of times I don't always believe that I can do it. That's huge. I always feel there's somebody out there better than me. And I will tell everybody, oh, I can be beat at any time. I remember having to have bowlers in the past tell me, no, you deserve to be here. And that Saturday when Cora and I walked in, it sounds bad, but we kind of had a spot locked up. We had to be throwing really, really bad not to make it. And so I think I just kind of let my competitor edge go for a little bit.
But
And
that
it was
could have
just like,
been,
oh, I've
that
got a
could have been
spot.
why. That
Yeah.
could have been why, right?
Yeah.
And I hate that feeling, but I let it
Totally.
get to me. And then finally the Sunday, I was like, no, I don't want to just make it. I want to do better.
Right.
So
Yeah. We'll
That's
take
fair.
that away with you in the next
I will
sort of journey.
well,
Yeah.
we have our open next week, so I have to remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Don't let that imposter syndrome creep in. I know it's
Oh, so
tough.
bad.
I
It
still
is
feel
tough.
that all the time, but it's push it down.
Yeah.
Yep, it's tough. Yep.
Shailene, how was your qualifying throughout the season?
It was pretty okay. First tournament was at the house that I usually bowl out of, and I did the worst out of that house. So then I was like, okay, I have to bowl in the fourth. And bowling, the last tournament was in Airdrie, and I had not bowled in Airdrie for so long. So I was gonna question myself and say, how the heck am I gonna do this? So throughout the morning, it was kind of a slow start, and then it just kind of went on from there, and it was great. I was plus. I was like, guess I'm going to provincials.
I really like how, like, listening to kind of a bunch of your stories, there's like that moment of like doubt or like I'm questioning myself. I'm wondering if I should be here. I've had kind of like a rocky, I didn't make the open, like all of these things, but then there's like something that just kind of clicks in every one of you. And it was like, no, I don't want to feel that again. Or no, like, I don't want to just make the team. I want to be better, or I need to like find something, right? Like, that's kind of the piece that I think some players are always striving to get, that motivation to just be able to turn it on and be like, no, now it's go time. I'm not going to just settle for what I'm doing, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Now, Brandy and Shailene, like, do you guys know each other well? Is this the start of a new friendship?
Yeah, we've never met. So I'm like, we kind of talked in passing on the weekend, but I was like, both days I was the opposite ends of her. So I didn't really get to chat with her at all. So I'm super excited about her and Shelly and Val. I know Val a little bit, and of course Holly, because that's the
Yeah.
besties.
Nothing will bond you like a trip to nationals together.
Yeah.
Yeah, new friendships. And like Krista, just remember when we played together at Masters for tournament singles, like, you were some of my toughest matches. So
That was the most
don't forget
nerve-wracking
that.
bowling I've ever had. I saw you and I was like, oh crap, it's Tracy. And I just remember being so scared. And that first day I bowled awful and I was so embarrassed. And I bowled that year with Michael Wist. And I remember I was talking with him and who's the other person? Oh, Mitch Davies. And he's like, how'd you do? And I was like, oh, so crappy. I'm so embarrassed. And he gave me a little pep talk and was like, you were singles. You deserve to be here. Remember that. And I just, lots of times when I'm feeling self-doubt, I will have to tell myself, remember, you deserve to be here. And so, yeah, like that year, Tracy, I saw you and I was so intimidated that I was like, oh, so thank you.
You know what? You're welcome. Take that great mentorship with you, right? Because now you're going to be mentoring others just because of your experience in the game, and don't forget that.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So looking ahead a little bit, are you playing any other events this season, Shailene?
Nope.
No, just
No.
Masters has kind of been the route.
Yeah, I mean, Shelly and if you guys know Amanda Howlett as well,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they kind of they've been new into the other kind of tournament side of things, like the Open or the Diamond Ladies and all the other ones as well. And they're like, you should join, you should come try out. And I'm like, I will when I got the courage to put my butt out there. So probably maybe next year or next season. Oh,
I mean,
get my foot in the door.
there's no two greater people in the game right now who are leaning into like discipline, practice, getting outside of their comfort zone, achieving things they've never achieved before. And like, we can all have that, right? Like once you get into the mindset, like those two, they're a nice little duo and a nice reminder. They're always, Amanda specifically always talking about the sport, like on Facebook, and like it's infectious.
It is,
and so
and always pushing her goals and hitting that goal, making it higher. And I don't know if I've ever seen a person from one season to the next make the amount of growth in such a short period of time, but you can see the work that's being put in, and definitely something to look up to for a lot of people.
Agreed, especially if you have passion for the game, right? If you got passion for the game and you got passion for the people in the sport in our bowling community, like it's an amazing ride.
Yeah. Coralie and Krista, you said Open is next weekend in Saskatchewan?
Yes. We start singles Thursday morning at 11 a.m.
Exciting.
Amazing.
Good luck to you ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you playing singles?
We both are, yeah.
Both. Amazing. So kind of gives you like a warm up to getting into all the rest of the tournaments. And then which zone are you guys playing? Are you playing from the same zone?
Prince Albert.
Prince Albert. Okay. I can't remember where everybody's from. There's so many people all over
and
the
then
place.
what center are you guys at?
We are bowling at a Golden Mile for provincials.
Okay.
Because they're hosting nationals as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Fair. Any big goals for the rest of the season for any of you? Brandy, what's kind of your like vision moving forward for this season or beyond?
I think I'm just going to try my best to get as much lane time as I can. I've got a little bit of a sciatic issue acting up right now. So I got to figure that out. And then, just getting as much lane time as I can with the right people. That's a big thing. We did enter a few teams and doubles into the Triple Crown, the Bowl Alberta Triple Crown in Chinook there. So that's a pins over event as well. So I think that will definitely help set the stage for myself. Me and Holly are also bowling together in that. So we did that before we made nationals. So kind of funny that happened. So just trying to get as much lane time as I can and still working on my head game, just like the other ladies have said. I deserve to be there. I did the thing. I showed up when it counted, and so just kind of playing with the head and making sure that it's in the game. So
right. Coralie, what about you?
I was kind of really hoping to make Diamond Ladies Classic this year, but I don't think things are going to work out for me as well as I hope this year. So it'll be a next year thing. But going forward, just hope to keep doing what I'm doing, keep throwing my game, stay out of my own head, and just go for it.
Yeah. Shailene?
The mental game for sure. Just to drive, to get those balls out on those lanes. Also to cheer everybody else on, to bring out the positivity.
Yeah.
Just even seeing those people being down, or, there's always the next best ball you can throw is the next frame. Like, let's get it. I want to see everybody win. Do a little bit of wins for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. Other people's successes don't take away from you having success. So
Mhm.
that's a big thing. Krista?
Just really work on the mental and keep going. I am hoping to make it out to a cast tournament this year. I've signed up twice and backed out twice, so there's only a couple left that I can still try. And yeah, we'll just really hope. I'd like to go for a national medal sometime, or even just bronze. I just want to say I medaled at nationals sometime. So, right, Cora, we'll
Oh,
work hard on that
I'd,
one.
I'd love to say that one too.
This is the year. This is the
Oh,
year.
Good
boy.
one.
Hopefully.
And hopefully you'll have 2 chances at it with Open coming up as well. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice going into the second event already knowing that like you're heading to nationals.
Yeah.
And then this one's like a bonus. Like if you make it, then you're going twice. But if not, like you're still heading to nationals. It kind of gives you a little bit of just that breathing room.
Yeah.
So
And the-
true.
Upside was that we threw out a golden mile for the second tournament this past weekend of Masters. So we kind of get a feel for the lanes already, kind of got an idea of
Yeah.
what things might look like.
No, I just want to say Cora threw really well that second day. Like she gave Josie a run for her money to the point that Josie actually walked back to her dad, and I saw that. They were like, "You need to work on it because she's up on you here." And so I was pretty proud of you, girl. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it's
that's
all good.
it's good for the game, right? It's
Yeah.
good for
Yeah.
the game, and sometimes you come up on the high side, sometimes you don't. But like, it's good to push each other. That is
Yes.
what makes us better. So
Yeah.
And it's
you
more
should
fun.
be very proud. It is.
It was
is.
actually a really fun day Sunday. I had a blast throwing. Like got to
Yeah.
we Josie, Krista, myself, and then we had the top 3 guys on our
Yeah.
set all day, and we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Lots of cheering for each
Yeah.
other. It was nice, all 3 of us.
And where is Masters Nationals this year?
Surrey, BC.
BC. Oh, I did know that. I don't know why.
You should know.
Like I knew that.
I would just say before we sign off, ladies, thanks for joining us. But like, be proud of yourselves. That's a huge accomplishment, regardless of the position, and keep the mindset of like that you have added value as being part of a big team, and just go and enjoy the experience.
You'll have a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good luck to all of you at Masters Nationals, and we will hopefully see you all on the lane soon.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
And there we go.
Great group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's making me miss Masters this year.
I'm like retiring, and they're all getting going.
Fair. All right, we are going to head to the next group here, which is going to be heading to IP Nationals. I think next month. We'll have to check with them when it is, but we're going to bring in 3 lovely ladies. Hello.
Hi.
How's
This is-
everybody doing?
This is
I'm
gonna be
great.
really confusing for me because I've got Cindy, Carol, and Casey. I got the 3 C's. and if I pull my mother, where I'm like calling people different names, like I apologize.
All
The-
good.
The 3 C's is a
All
bit
good.
tricky.
Can you
Everyone
guys hear
can-
me? Because my headphones are dead.
We can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I can hear a little bit. I can't get on Facebook on my laptop, so I'm doing this from my phone. So
Okay.
You
I
look
might
beautiful.
lean in to try and hear.
Perfect.
Yep,
We can
beautiful.
see and hear you though, so that's great.
Okay.
Great.
Congratulations to all of you for qualifying for IP Nationals.
Thank you.
Nationals are in
April
Regina.
24th to Saskatoon.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
week after open qualifying or open
Yes.
provincials, just after Easter and in Saskatchewan, correct? Saskatoon?
Yes.
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon. Maybe just give us a little rundown of your kind of IP journey, your bowling background. Is this your first nationals, not first nationals? Carol, do you want to start?
Sure. I bowl out of Winnipeg. I was in the IP Nationals last year. Our team did not do very well, so I decided to try again this year. And I made it the team again, and I was in first for the ladies this year.
Amazing.
I bowled masters last year, teaching masters last year, and my team won gold here in Winnipeg. So that was awesome. And I'm just trying to bowl more and get better at the sport. I've got a low average. So right now, these are the tournaments for me because I can usually do a little better when I'm in them. But it's a great journey. I'm having a lot of fun.
Amazing. Casey.
I don't even know where to start. With IP, this is my first year, but this is also my first year, like my first real season back to bowling after about 7 years off. So I've known Katie for a long time, but basically I went to nationals in 2004 for YBC and then continued YBC, never made it back. Had a very poor attitude and mental game. So that was like one of the reasons I stopped bowling in like my early 20s. And then I joined a fun league in February of last year to get me into it. And then at the, I guess, like beginning of the season this year, the proprietor at St. Albert, so like Richard, he just said, hey, gave me a forum, said you should do this. Showed up. Came first for the women, so that was kind of cool. And then going to provincials was also cool. I believe I was high women's POA for that too, like the high series. So I'm just here for fun, and it's been a good entry.
It's all fun. We're gonna have a great time.
She's
Yeah.
clearly worked on her attitude. Hey.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, yeah, it's been like
Yes.
huge. Like so the change in the last 7 years has been a big difference. I did try for the Open for the first time just for funsies. I was way over my average, so I was really happy with that, even though I didn't make a team. It's just kind of reassuring that I was able to somewhat, again, like keep up, but also like, prove to myself that I could do well.
Come back into it.
Yeah.
Cindy, do you want to give us a little rundown on you?
Let's see. I think most everybody knows I started bowling late in the game. I think I was 30 when I started. So almost 16 years ago. First nationals. I've played IP and made it to provincials numerous times in this event. I wasn't actually going to even play this year. My average is kind of at that point where it's like, do you do it or don't you? Do you, or, you know? So Wyatt had asked me if I wanted to bowl a tournament with him. And I was like, I don't know. Like, we'll have to find the right one. And then he's like, we should do IP. And I was like, no, not going to do it. My average is too high now for it. And then he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then Tammy's like, well, I want to play. And I was like, well, I like you. We can make a 3-person team. That's perfect. So I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I want to be with people that like I just enjoy being around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, if we're going to do this, we need to get a 4th person, but they have to have a low average. We need somebody to carry us. Our averages are too high. And we found Greg, our little needle in a haystack. And I've played on many of teams, and I'm telling you that this team is probably the best chemistry team I've ever played on. Yeah.
It's very,
we are really looking forward to going.
Yeah. Carol, you qualify for your teams kind of similar to how we do in Edmonton, right? Where you have like a zone roll off
Yes.
and then the top 2 female, top 2 male, right?
Yes. So we send, so in Winnipeg, we send 3 teams to the provincial round. Then the Central does 3 teams and the Westman do 3 teams. Then we do our provincial round. And then the top 2 teams out of those 9 teams go to provincial or
To nationals.
nationals. Yeah.
It's kind of like a mishmash of how we do it in Alberta, because I think some zones qualify like Central does, Cindy, right? Where you can kind of make your team and put it in. And then some zones qualify like Edmonton, where we have the roll off and do the top 2 and the next 2. How are we feeling about nationals? I know, like, Carol, you've kind of been there before, right?
I was there last year and I had a rough year last year. So I was determined to come back, make the team again so that I can go back and show everybody what I can do, because I was not very good last year. We struggled. We came in dead last. But this year we're gonna do way better.
It's the redemption year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Cindy, how are you feeling with it being like your rookie year?
I'm actually, so many people keep asking me this, and I keep saying, you know what? I'm not even thinking about it. I need to get through Open Provincials first. That's my focus. And then we just actually qualified for another provincials next weekend. So I was like, okay, provincials next weekend, then Open Provincials, then I'll think about nationals.
Amazing.
I think
And I
Tim's
mean-
more excited for me than I am right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, Cindy, because like you have been in bowling centers for as long as I
Forever.
can recall, right? Different events, supporting people, watching, contributing, organizing, and all of that. And the fact that you get to celebrate this for you and like with your team that you're feeling like has amazing chemistry is absolutely very cool.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I don't know what changed, but I've had a pretty good year this year.
Love
I
that.
feel like it's even been a little bit longer than that because I remember at an event at TPC, you were sitting watching Tim, and I was talking to you, and you're like, yeah, the last like 4 weeks at League, I've averaged like 260. And then like that kind of carried over into another event that you played really well. Then we have like Youth Choice in Edmonton this year where you and your partner won that event. Like it's been kind of like a consistent uprise of your scores have been a lot higher. I've seen you post on Facebook like nights that have been fantastic nights, and it's just
Yeah.
it seems like it's all kind of
It feels weird because I'm just like, when does it end? Like, is it going to end? Like, does it just stop or like,
the shoe doesn't have to
You
drop.
just keep going.
Yeah.
You're just gonna
Yes.
keep going.
Right,
Yeah.
girl. Yes.
Casey, how are you feeling with, you've had the experience of nationals, but obviously when you were in a different era of your life and now you're, in the adult world, different mindset, different everything. How are you feeling kind of coming back into almost like a second go around at your first nationals?
It would have been better if it was last year because that would have been 20 years from Newfoundland to Newfoundland. But I mean, I'm really excited for it. Kind of like Cindy, I know you guys got to form a team where we did, like the top two. And we just really, really gelled. Like our team really good connections and like we're very comfortable with each other. We're really trying to focus on like the positive mindset and mental game and everything. So it's been interesting. I've been, I think, getting like a little bit more confident. I've been like subbing in like a match play league instead of just doing my fun league, and I find that that's like helped immensely with the game overall recently. So I feel like I'm getting like prepared for it. Yeah, I'm again a little bit nervous. I was listening to like the other people a little bit like, earlier with the Masters, I think it was. Kind of like that imposter syndrome, like thinking like, oh, like I don't know, I felt almost like I'm coming first or whatever for the women's was awesome, but I also saw bowlers again like Cindy, Tammy, and then many others that I was like, oh my gosh, like you guys are awesome. Granted, you had the higher averages, so it makes more sense that the pins over benefited me. But yeah, seeing like so many different bowlers and styles, it kind of just like motivates you to do better. And I think we just have a fun group.
Yeah.
Casey, I'm curious because you took time off in the game. Like, did you always just have your little bowling bag sitting in a closet or the basement, and then that's the bag you've pulled out for like this year to play with? It's the exact same bag of balls and shoes, or have we transitioned and bought some new
same
stuff?
balls, same shoes. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, no, so I did have my original bag. It is torn to pieces though. It was from Youth Challenge when one of the two of the parents had their own company and they like provided bags for all the kids. So I had that, and then it was again just ripped to shreds. I could barely there's like no handle almost. So I had to get a new bag, but it's the same bowling balls I think I've had since I was 13 or 14. Same shoes since 16, 17, different bowling center. I was previously bowling out of Bonnie Doon, where now I bowl out of St. Albert, and I very much so enjoy it. But I'm not gonna lie, the 7 years wasn't bowling very much, just kind of for fun. Didn't bring the balls or the shoes with me because I wanted to be fair with the people I was bowling with. But I'm not gonna lie, a lot of therapy had to help with the mental side, because it just, yeah, I remember getting like so angry and everything. So now I have like the different mindset of like, oh, I'm here for fun, and
Yeah.
however I do, it's fine.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then Carol, like in Winnipeg, Carol, you said you won a gold medal for teaching masters.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
also was in Winnipeg last year and won a gold medal. So we have something in common.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But so how did you play that year?
I with masters I did really well. Like I had never bowled in any tournaments. Like I was just a Wednesday night fun league. Then I started sparring in our Sunday night league at Polo Park, a match play league, and then I got into masters because of Dwayne Gilardi. He, you know, so he has coached me and worked with me and brought my game up from where it was at. You know, I'm more mentally prepared for these now. So yeah, it's just been an experience of something that if somebody would have asked me 3 years ago, I would never have thought that I would have in 2 years done 3 national tournaments. You know, 1 masters, 1 IP, and then a second IP this year. Not doing as good in masters. I had to miss a tournament because I was sick. And the last tournament is the Sunday right after the IP. So I'm not going to make it back for that. So my masters this year is not where I want to be, but the tournaments just didn't quite gel where I needed them to be, or where I needed to be to do them. So focusing on the IP this year and going out, and our team is an amazing team this year and we work well together. And so we're going to go and get it done.
That's awesome. That's great.
Cindy, you also qualified for Open this year out of Central. How is that going?
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, just how is that like going? How are you kind of preparing for it?
We just had our first open practice. It's so hard. Like you guys know, with all these tournaments and leagues and life and everything, trying to squeeze a practice in somewhere.
Especially in the Central Zone where you're all spread out.
We're so spread out. Yeah. So we were able to, we bowled a Bowl Alberta tournament just this past Sunday in the morning. And then we stayed after and had an open practice. So we were just missing one from the team, but we were able to get everybody together, and then we practiced with the men's team. So we did that, and that was good. Just trying to keep the body feeling okay and just try to get through this. I took on a full-time job now, which I was probably stupid timing to do, but with all these events coming up, I need money.
Fair. Well, one of the other questions is, we all know you are the Central 5-pin president for the Alberta Central Zone. And like, how do you kind of manage being in the organizing, running tournaments role that comes with being a zone president, and then also trying to like prioritize your own game and competing and playing in these events?
I don't know. I feel like it just happens. Like every day I'm like, how am I gonna make this work? I look at the schedule and I get stressed out. And then, as you know, as being president yourself, it just kind of happens.
We do it.
And I actually just was complaining and I was like, I just want to be a bowler. Like I've qualified for these 2 big events and I just want to be a bowler, but I don't know how to not be the other side.
Yeah, it's so tough.
So I had just said to my IP team, I said, okay, once we get this one answer back, I have to take a step back and I just need to focus and I need to be a bowler. Coach, you're going to have to take over. And it's not that he doesn't want to take over and do it. It's just Cindy's just put herself in there and be like, I got this. I'll answer it. I'll send this email. And I sent Jen an email and I was like, Kay, after this email, like just like Kev's got to do it, coach has got to do it. And she's like, well, he is answering, but then you've answered. I'm like, I know, I just got to stop. Like, it's so hard.
We're the type A. It's hard to take a step back, especially
I know, like,
"Oh,
I know
can just
people,
send this, it's
they're
fast."
capable, but then I'm like, if I don't do it, it's probably not right, which it is, it's fine. But,
Well, I get it.
and
Don't
even
worry,
with
I get
like
it.
the Open, Mitch's manager, and I've been manager for the last couple of years, and he's like, okay, what do I do? And so I've been telling him, and he's doing great. But then people will come up to me and like, hey, so what do we do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a bowler. I'm just a bowler. I'm just trying to be a bowler.
I need to take a page out of your book. I'm just a bowler.
Yeah.
I'm just a
That's
girl.
literally what I said on Monday. I'm like, I'm just a bowler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask somebody else.
Sure. Casey, how have you kind of managed goals for the season? Like coming back in, or even goals when you came in, knowing your game probably had dropped a little bit from when you left the game. How did you kind of manage
Yeah.
that?
I feel like I was just able to manage like my expectations. I kind of went in kind of low, just thinking. I think I can't remember what left YBC with, but I think like it would have been around like a 200, and then coming in it was like a 180-ish, and I was like, ah, it's okay, it's fine, I'll get it back up. But I also knew like it's gonna take me a while to get back to like a higher average, and that's fine. Like I'm good where I'm at. I'm just trying more so to focus on like having fun. And like that's why I'm not giving up like my fun league, 'cause I find like it's just really brought back the passion. Sorry, the passion that I lost for like so long. Like I'm not really sure. Like I have like just like small goals. Like again, I went into IP thinking, okay, Richard told me to do it, I'll do it. And then I did well. And then like with provincial, it was very much so like, okay, let's just focus on hitting average. Anything above average is great, obviously. But I just had to keep like reminding myself, like, don't get angry. Like the next ball is a new ball. Just throw your ball. And like I tried to just make it as basic as possible. Like I know in YBC I was constantly like, okay, slow first step, do this, do this, do this. And it was too much going on in my head, where now I'm like, keep my hand behind the ball, stay low. And that's kind of it. So like I don't really know. I feel like even like my little goals, they're more personal. I haven't really had goals of like I want to go to nationals for anything. Like I was just entering like little fun tournaments, like the cash tournaments with KJ or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've had a really good support system, honestly. Like I've had a lot of people encouraging me to do different tournaments, and like for next year I have a goal of doing masters, just because like I've had 8 million people telling me I should do it, and it just seems like it's a good environment. So I feel like I've just been associating like with really positive people, and they're just again like I'm pushing myself a little bit here and there, but I'm not beating myself up if I'm below average by 2 points like I used to when I was younger.
Well, it sounds like you're just kind of keeping it simple, going back to the basics, not letting yourself get overwhelmed. I mean, that happens to the best of us. I know I had a conversation with your Curtis once where I'm like, I need to focus on this and this and this and this. And he's like, do you think you're focusing on too many things? I'm like, oh, I'm doing everything wrong, Curtis. And he's like, oh, okay, you keep trying that. Like,
just do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
No, and that's exactly it. Like I just feel like if I'm focusing on like again having fun and just like the bare minimum, I did have to change a couple things. And that was like I got a tip from Stephen Jones, who went to nationals last year for IP, and then also Brett Wren. So two like quite high level bowlers, obviously. They gave me some good advice, and that honestly like that advice came after we qualified for nationals, and it has immensely benefited my game. Like I actually threw my first 300 a couple weeks ago, like since I've been back to bowling. So it felt really nice, and that was honestly from the tips they gave me. So it's
great,
cool getting that feedback from other people for tips, again, like information.
So just quickly before we head out, looking forward to the end of the season or goals for the rest of the season. Carol, anything that you have still on your goal list this season?
Yeah, just making sure that I'm staying focused. I can usually do 1 or 2 good games, and then my third game is usually not so good. So I just got to keep that mental focus and just keep hitting my line, and then I'll be good.
Amazing. Cindy?
Probably just work on my mental game a little bit more. It's far from where it should be, but way better than where it was. And just try to enjoy being a bowler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazing.
Somebody else can go get my drink for me now.
that's right.
And Casey, we'll finish with you.
Honestly, same kind of thing with Cindy. As much as I can say my mental game has improved so much, like it's something I'm still working on like every day. And I just think, yeah, focusing on like those small things. Eventually I'd like to, I guess for the end of the season, yeah, I keep improving my average a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm just
All those
Yeah,
little goals, the incremental goals.
That's right.
You can
Yeah.
keep
Yep.
upping it a little bit more, right?
One step at a time, one goal at a time.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to all of you in Saskatoon. And thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for taking some time to come join us and just chat with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Yeah,
asking.
thank
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
See you
Thank
all
you.
soon.
Bye.
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 All right. We are going to continue on with our. I just saw a comment. I'll get your drink.
That's that.
She'll need that. She needs
Yeah,
that.
That's awesome.
We are going to head over to the other side of the country, and Newfoundland just had their open provincials last weekend, and we got the ladies from the mixed team fresh off their win, so we are going to bring them in. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How's everyone doing?
Great.
Good,
How are
and
you
you?
guys?
I'm just-
Good.
Just wondering why Katie planned Newfoundland at the tail end of the podcast.
Yeah, what's up with that?
It's so late there, I know, but they also told me that they all bowled league on Wednesday nights. We wanted to make
Okay.
sure there was enough time,
Okay,
and
fair.
yeah, we just weren't sure. So
Okay,
that's
fair.
why. So congratulations on making it to Open National.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
How was the weekend?
It was
Nothing
great.
short of amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tina, I
Yeah,
think your
amazing.
mic is off, Tina.
Oh, no, I can hear her.
Oh.
Can everybody else hear her? We'll see if we can edit it up a little bit. Should be okay. So is this a team that has played together in previous years, or was this kind of your first time playing together, Jenna?
Actually, this is my first year bowling on a team with my sister, Keisha. It's me and Tina bowled together last year in the Open on a team.
Mm-hmm.
But this is my third year bowling in the Open.
In the Open. And then Keisha, what about you? Is this your first year then, or are you?
This is my first year in the Open. I bowled nationals with YBC a few times. Same thing with Youth Challenge. So this will be my first time bowling the Open Nationals. So I'm a rookie, and everyone's warned me.
It is. It's fun to be a rookie. Don't be.
Yeah, I've
mean.
heard.
It's so fun. Yeah.
We've all done it. It's all good.
And we all survived.
Yeah. And Tina, have you made nationals before? Kind of your bowling history?
Yes, actually, this will be my fifth Open Nationals. Second time on the mixed team. I've also went to the Nationals on the ladies team twice. And I also did a ladies single in Gatineau, Quebec.
Amazing.
Very fun. It looks
Yeah.
like you're sporting a nice little bowling shirt tonight.
Yes, I never got time to change.
I
As
love
like I
it.
said, we are bowling. So yeah, excuse me for my apparel, but I think it's kind of fitting.
It's perfect. It's nice that your team has like a mix of, we have some experience with open singles and ladies team, someone who's been a couple times, then we have like a rookie to the team. Are your men kind of the same mix?
Pretty much, yeah. We do have one rookie, But then the other two bowlers have made it to the nationals for the Open a couple of times as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was kind of like your highlight moments from provincials? Was there like a game that stood out to you or a moment? I mean, obviously winning is got to be up there, but like maybe outside of winning.
My highlight basically is the fact that we were first right from beginning to end. No one took that lead from us. Whereas in years past, when I bowled the Open, you know, it was up and then you go down and then you got to play catch up. But we didn't have to do that. We were first the whole time, which was nice to see. But you shouldn't let your guard down because it can be anybody's game at any given time.
Yeah. It is a nice feeling, though.
It is. It was.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Jenna, what was your kind of highlight of the weekend?
I want to say, like, the last game, the winning game, we were just so pumped up. It was just an overall great feeling.
Yeah. And Keisha?
I think in general, it's just the environment of it all. I think being back into the environment, it's been a really long time since I bowled competitively. So like for me, it's been 10 years. So I think just being back into it, it's just such a rush. And like I miss that feeling so much. But just seeing like the old faces that I used to bowl with, seeing some new faces, that was great.
So Jenna and Keisha, like, are your sisters?
Yes.
And what's the age difference between the two of you?
5 years.
5 years. So it's throwing me off a little bit, Katie. Keisha, like when I look at Keisha, I feel like I'm looking at Christine Poksa.
A little bit, yeah.
And
100%.
I'm like just navigating that a little bit. Keisha, I don't know if you know who Christine Poksa is from Alberta, but
no idea.
You could put you side by side, and Jenna, maybe you've got another sister in Christine Poksa.
No way.
Throwing me off a little bit. It's a compliment anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Keisha, you said this is like you've been 10 years kind of out of competitive bowling. Were you playing anything in that 10 years or were you like away from the game?
Yeah, so basically I started bowling I think as early as you can start. So I guess that's somewhere between 4 and 5. And then I worked all my way up through YBC, graduated through YBC. I stopped actually for quite a few years. I ended up going back and bowling like a Wednesday night league. And then I stopped again for a few years. I ended up having a baby. So I think I really struggled with like finding the balance between work and being a mom. So it took me a long time to get back into it. So this is my first year back actually, in like the last 4 to 5 years.
What a nice way to like have that first year back, right? Like,
yeah.
Knocking all the steps off.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
You're doing,
and I think too, like this year is just so special as well because, like Jenna had mentioned, like we bowled. As long as we've been bowling, this will be the first time that we've bowled together on a team, like competitively. So it's really special.
So when you guys in Newfoundland, like, do you do it out of your center? Like you create your team out of a center? Is that how it works there? And then you compete against the other centers. That's how you guys do it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So the center that you came from, what center are you coming from?
We're coming from Corner Brook Centre Bowl, which is on the western part of Newfoundland. And then you bowl, you're bowling against in-house, and then you form your team, and then you go to the provincials, which is in St. John's, which has 4 other centres that we've competed against.
Yeah, so it's a little different. Hey, Katie, like it's different, but it's cool.
Yeah, well, and because Newfoundland also does their ladies team qualifying separately.
Yeah.
Where they just have the one roll off for ladies team. Yeah. And then once that's formed, then everybody forms their mixed teams from their centers, correct?
Yes, and I believe the reason for that is because of lack of number of ladies.
Right.
So our center, you would have to have 9 ladies in order to make a ladies team,
Right.
but we didn't. We only had like 7. So
Yes.
Right. Makes sense.
so
yeah.
there was no way for us to form a ladies team. So we went with 2 mixed teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that we had sent you was about if there was a moment where you guys had to kind of rally together or battle back a little bit, which maybe that wasn't necessarily the case, considering, Tina, you were saying that like you had the lead from start to finish the whole way through. But was there ever moments where you kind of had to bring the team back together or things just weren't quite falling the way you were hoping?
Yeah, there were a couple of games, of course, that we were losing. And like, you know, you get 1.5 points out of 8 or whatever. So then we would just regroup and say, like, listen, we do have to come back. Let's give it our all. And then, you know, did we battle back? No, we didn't battle back, but we always had to be at the edge, right at the top of our game. It could be anybody's game at any time. And until that last ball is thrown, you're not guaranteed anything. I mean, we lost a few games. I can remember 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, girls, but there's been 3 games that less than 10 points separated us from total pinfall. So battling back, no, but you always had to battle and be at the top of your game. And like I said, the game's not over until that last ball's thrown.
Yeah, I feel like almost every single game though, it really did come down to like the last frame. Like all games
very
were
close.
very, very tight and very close. So like, and we did lose a lot of games by like just pins, or a lot of points by just pins, right? So that also just goes to show too, like how every pin throughout this game matters, and it's just so easy to get down on yourself, like when you're not marking or you're not throwing your strikes or your spares. But like again, that goes to show like you need to pick up all your pins in this game.
Yeah. It's so easy to like leave a 3 pin on the lane on a head pin and be like, oh, it's not going to matter. It's frame 2. I have lots of time to make it up. But then at the end of the game, it comes down to a 3 pin and you're like,
exactly.
Exactly.
What was I doing?
Like the anchor. Who feels that pressure? Poor Adam.
Fair. When you guys were playing, was there lots of lineup switches, or did you kind of have a steady lineup that you kept the whole way through? As you were saying, like Adam was primarily your anchor, it sounds like.
We pretty well kept the entire lineup the entire way through. Now, when someone was bowling down, like so, for instance, the first day I was on pretty well the entire time. And then the second day, I was just completely off my game, just not in the right headspace. And then Jenna was subbed in, and Jenna played that entire day. So yeah, I mean, our lineup was switching kind of back and forth. I mean, at one point, Tina started us off first, and then she was put down a person to kind of release her of that stress and pressure of being the first person. So we were kind of switching it up throughout the day, but we pretty well maintained kind of like the same lineup for a lot of it.
For sure. As you kind of look at the rest of the season, are there things that you are bowling the rest of the season or other events that you're wanting to get into, Tina?
I don't know. There's not many events for us left. We did actually take part in the interprovincials, to which we likewise had won every single game, and we lost it in the last game. So the interprovincials is over. We don't do the Masters here on this end of the island anymore. So yeah, so this basically is the only event.
Is the one.
Yeah, is the one. Yeah.
Nice. Did you also play interprovincial, Jenna?
No, I did not do that one.
No. Nice. Did you play, Keisha?
No. This is the one and only event this year.
The one and only event. Fair.
And then
Sometimes
it's really special.
Focus on it.
Yeah. Will you guys now take a bit of time to like get together, do practices, maybe like off the lane type of stuff? What's the plan?
I mean, obviously, Jenna and Keisha, you, I'm sure, will see each other in the break.
Yeah. And now we will set up times to do some, practice here or there. Like I said, all three of us bowl in the Wednesday night league, in a commercial league. So we're bowling together there, along with most of our other teammates. There is one who he bowls in a Tuesday night league, but we do try to get together.
Nice.
Yeah, there
you're-
will be some scheduled practices, as was their scheduled practices prior to the provincials. So we'll do the same.
Yeah. I do kind of like that you all bowl in the same center. So it gives you an opportunity to already kind of have that chemistry going in, right? Like when I think about how we do it out here, the whole Edmonton zone tries out against Edmonton, but there's 5 or 6 houses that are all people are coming from. So the teams are kind of a mishmash of from everywhere. So you have to kind of create a little bit of that chemistry on the fly sometimes, depending on who makes the team. But it's nice that you have that ability to see each other every Wednesday for the most part, and kind of have that ongoing relationship throughout the season.
For sure. I think there's also
it's great.
Yeah.
And I think there's an advantage to that as well. Like I can watch Keisha or Jenna or any of my teammates and know, what they're doing wrong at any given time because you've bowled with them. So I think that gives you, a little advantage as well.
Yeah, 100% it does. Yeah. And you kind of, even outside of the bowling, you probably know, like, you can read their body language a little bit better, know when they're down or know when they need a little pep talk or a little like a side hug of, you got this, like, don't give up on it. Great. Like you can kind of read everybody just a little bit better.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Jenna can tell you.
She knows.
Yeah.
Was there any goals you kind of set for yourself as you went into the season, Jenna?
For me, again, I've been on and off for last years because, again, I did have children as well. So my main goal for myself is to be more consistent. I find, I could have this really good game, and then turn around and have just not great.
Not so good of a game.
So just to be more consistent would be my personal goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keisha, did you have any goals that you set coming back in?
Yeah, I would say like bowling to me, it's a really big mental game. So I really struggle with staying positive throughout the game. I very easily get in my head. So if I throw a few frames that are off, again, I just get in my head about it. And we all know how that can throw your entire game off. And it can throw off your team members too.
Yeah.
So I think it's really kind of just staying positive and being able to come back after you throw that one ball and shake it off and just say, okay, let's work on the next ball. So that's my biggest thing, is just trying to maintain a positive outlook on it.
Yeah. And Tina?
Yeah, basically mine is also working on improving my consistency, but also mastering the mental aspect of the game. Not sure, but I'm 99% sure that a fellow bowler, Megan Gallicano. She once told me that bowling is 95% mental, and if you can master that, then your game will follow. So that's what I'm really working towards is, getting, like Keisha said, not get in your own head. And I know I can bowl. I've bowled well. Everybody can bowl. We've done it over and over. It's just bowling well when you need to bowl well and not letting that pressure get to you.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Megan, if you haven't heard watching this, she qualified as the Newfoundland single lady, and threw massive. Like her last 3 games of qualifying and then her game in the step ladder were like a 13 something.
It was insane.
Like, it was insane. She just went off.
It was insane. Yeah.
She was on the lanes with me when she bowled her 440, which was the start. And she just came off of lanes 9 and 10 and came over and said, okay, that's a TSN turning point. went up and shot 440, and then she followed up with 2 high 300s. So
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
just one game after another and then continued it up into the step ladder to secure her spot going as the single as well as on the team. So it was fantastic performance. I can't remember I was just trying to find the exact numbers, but it was like what you think is really good and then add like
Oh yeah, and then
a
I was
couple more hundred.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was
fantastic.
11. I'm not sure. It was a high 11 after 3.
Yeah.
I bet.
Oh, I have it here. She had 440, 371, 318 to finish. So that's like an 1100
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then in the step ladder, she threw like another 319 to get it.
Yeah.
So like just wild.
It was
Amazing.
amazing to watch.
Yeah. She was I was watching in the morning. She was kind of just like teetering, like kind of in the middle of the pack. And then all of a sudden off. It was that,
Yeah.
that mental piece just clicked in and she was ready to go. But
And
well,
that's again mental, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not good or I'm not okay with bowling just how I'm bowling. I'm ready to be better,
Yep,
right? We
definitely.
kind of heard that earlier on the show too, but
That was definitely someone who said, when I put my shoes on, at the end of the day, I am going to be a singles champion.
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing was stopping her.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, thank you ladies so much for joining us on our kind of national night. Congratulations again, and hopefully we will see you on the lanes in Regina. I think Open Nationals is in
Yes.
May. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
There's so many nationals trying to keep them all straight of where they are and when they are. But congratulations again, and hopefully the rest of your season leading up to there goes well. And we'll see you in May.
Thank you
so much for having us.
Of
Thanks for the
course.
invite.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. We are at the end.
Good
It
show.
makes me excited for this part of the season, right? Like we play
Yeah.
all year and it feels like so long and we're all like
And
getting
you've been
tired.
ready. You couldn't play Masters, so like you've been ready. Now you're
Yeah.
getting ready for Open provincials. So
Just
good luck.
makes
Good
me
luck
feel
to
ready.
you.
Thanks. Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
coming to Edmonton this weekend for Masters?
I am not. No, I'm
You
going to
are
have a
not.
nice, quiet little weekend by myself this weekend.
That'll be amazing too.
Kurt's actually headed up with the boys to watch the
Okay.
Oilers game this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a massage and just take some time for myself.
Can't beat that.
No, it's-
Just before we sign off, quick little update. Diamond Ladies, if you don't have your hotel booked, a lot of our guests, this is a news flash for you. If you're coming to Diamond Ladies, hotels are booking up. So all of the host hotels have been posted on the Diamond Ladies Facebook page. So you can definitely check those out and get your entries in. Still lots of time to do that, but things are looking good for it. So
it's awesome.
we're moving along. Next Ladies podcast, not 100% sure. We're going to double check some dates and things. There's lots going on in April, especially with Open qualifying or Open provincials on our usual scheduled night. So we will figure out what that looks like for the 5PU world, and we'll let you know.
It's amazing.
But thanks so much for joining us for podcast 30, and good luck to everybody who has events coming up in the next little while before we see you again. And good bowling.
All the best, everyone.